The world teaches us to speak correctly, but rarely does it teach us to speak deeply, to speak expressively, emotionally, evocatively. That is the very basic thought from where I started my idea of voice and verse by Reeju. Hello everyone, this is Reeju. I am a school teacher. I have been teaching English to school students for the last 10 years, and I am a lifelong student of literature, film, music, poetry, and every other form of art that is expressive and soulful. I teach in a school where students of tribal communities come to study. The mother tongue of 90% of my students is Santali. The school is an English medium school. So the majority of teaching, learning, reading, writing happens in English. Our students use Bengali for interacting with the outside world, with the larger society. And when they come back to their homes, their families, their communities, their friends, they speak in their mother tongue Santali. So you see, our students, they navigate between three languages. And we as teachers, we also navigate between these three languages to try and create something meaningful for our students. This idea, this thought was very inspiring for me because I learned how languages are constantly interacting with each other. Our students, and as a result, we teachers also, we are constantly dancing between tongues and thoughts. We are born into a language and we evolve into a different voice, a different language, which can be a mixture of many languages, which can borrow from different cultures and traditions. So this is the basic idea from where I started Voice and Verse with Reeju. Voice and Verse by Reeju is a dream project for me. Here I try to bring about an amalgamation of soul and strategy. On the one hand, we will have the soulful way of expressing ourselves, the soulful way of speaking English. So for that, we will use song lyrics, poems, film dialogues, excerpts from drama, etc. So say for example, রবীন্দ্রনাথের গানের মধ্যে আবেগ কিভাবে ধরা দেয়, রবীন্দ্রনাথ কিভাবে প্রকাশ করেন আবেগ, সত্যজিৎ রায়ের সিনেমার ডায়লগ থেকে আমরা কিভাবে ভীষণ কোনো রকম একটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণভাবে এক্সপ্রেস করাকে শিখতে পারি, উর্দু শায়রি, গজল, সেখান থেকে ইন্টেন্স লাভ, লস, লঙ্গিং, এইগুলো কিভাবে এক্সপ্রেসড হয়, এই সব কিছুই। সো উই উইল ট্রাই আ ট্রান্সলেশন, ট্রান্সক্রিয়েশন, ট্রান্সকালচারেশন প্রসেস through which we will try to find our own voice, our own soul, and express that. That is the soul part of it. And then there is a strategy where we will try to strategically move forward in our careers, in our profession, where it helps us also in our relationships, in our everyday interactions with the world. So these are the kind of strategic ways in which this can help us. So this is how I have planned Voice and Verse by Reeju, where English will not be taught just as a subject, but as a voice from inside, a voice which wants to express itself. We will be going beyond the rules. There are rules, there are methods, but we will try to go beyond that. So you see, there are many speaking platforms which are there. What they mainly do is they follow a very textbook, mechanical approach towards learning English, especially spoken English. That is what I am trying to avoid here. I do not want that very purely rule-based, grammar-heavy, accent-heavy way of speaking English. Yes, they are structures which are necessary for being able to grasp that knowledge, grasp that language, but it is much more beyond rules. There is a huge world that exists beyond the rules of grammar and the mechanical way of learning a language. Voice and Verse for Reeju is that platform for deep thinkers, people who can feel deeply, who can express their innermost thoughts, their most authentic selves through the words, through expressions, through lyrics, through dialogues, through any other artistic modes of expression. That is what we are trying to achieve. Voice and Verse by Reeju is very culturally rooted in this place, in the geography and the history of this place. It is authentically Bengali, proudly Indian, and it is a bilingual platform. So as I was saying, we will move from Ghalib to Rabindranath to Satyajit Ray or any other, just naming, or maybe soliloquies of Hamlet or some other notable ways of looking at speaking English, looking at expressing ourselves. The kind of transformation that I try to bring about in my people, in the people around me, into my students and learners, is that they will not just be speaking fluent, correct English. They will be speaking English not just fluently, but beautifully, but deeply, boldly, and truly. They will own their own selves. Their words, their speech will become a part of who they are, their identity. So if you resonate with my thoughts and my feelings, if we are on the same page, then Voice and Verse is your home. আসুন আমরা সবাই মনের থেকে কথা বলি, মন দিয়ে আমরা কথা বলি এবং কথার মাধ্যমে আমরা মন ছুঁয়ে যাই. If you have ever felt unheard, unseen or unexpressed, then come here. This is your place. Welcome to Voice and Verse. Please don't forget to like my video if this resonates with you, and also do check out my social media handles. Thank you everyone.